What's up, YouTube? Funnel Doc here. Today we're going to be going over how much to charge for your coaching program. This is one of the most common things I talk about with my coaching students and that we work on when we both start out and as they excel and become experts. We're going to be covering all your questions today, and when you get done with this video, you're going to know exactly how much you should be charging for your coaching product and when you should increase your price. Can't wait to see you inside.
Some dude, Jeffrey M. Benek, he just got a Clickfunnels tattoo.
What's up, everybody? Funnel Doc. So today, when we're talking about coaching products, one of the things, or pricing, one of the things that we want to first think about are what are the actual outcomes that you're providing? First of all, think about the tangible outcomes. So what are things like, are they going to be able to actually know that they're able to measure that they're going to get as an end result from your coaching offer? So are they going to make more money, have more time? Are they going to have some type of design end result which is desired, which is able to be measured? Maybe they lost weight, or they ran faster, whatever it is, it's something that can be measured or touched. It's tangible. It's something that they can actually see. And the cool thing is, when you have tangible results, it's much easier to charge for something like that as a whole, because it's right in front of you. You can touch it, you can grab it, you can see it. It's quantifiable. So if I tell you, look, you're going to make $10,000 with your coaching offer in the first 30 days, what's a reasonable amount of charge to that? It could easily be $5,000 since you're going to make 10. No brainer, right? So you really need to think about that. If you're going to make $100,000, could I charge you $10,000? No brainer, right? So that's one of the things you want to think about is, what are the tangible outcomes of your coaching offer? And then one of the other aspects, the opposite of tangible, is intangible. Now, this one's much harder to quantify or to actually be able to show someone because it can't be measured. Some of the intangible things are like happiness, having a better quality of life, feeling better. These are things that aren't maybe have better drive. It's things that aren't really measurable, but yet you can experience them. They're intangible. They're in your body. They're in your mind. They're things that aren't necessarily like money. Like I said, it's like happiness or more motivation or better relationship. These are intangible results that people would get from your coaching offer. So thinking about those and thinking about the results you're going to get, also think about how extreme those results are. So for instance, if I have a headache and I'm like, this is just a normal headache, it's no big deal, how much would you charge for that inconvenience or the pain? You want to think about how much pain people are in, because if I just have a headache, I'd pay maybe a couple bucks, for an aspirin or whatever to get it fixed. But if this headache was, and I know this is extreme, but if it was cancer, how much would I be willing to pay to save my life? The number is insurmountable. It's huge. It could be millions, So you want to also ask yourself, when you're thinking about how much you can charge and you're thinking about your end result, how much pain is this person in and how much pain are you taking out of them or getting them out of? If they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every month and you can fix that, you could charge $100,000 for it, And again, we're going to be getting into how much you should be charging in just a little bit. But some of the things you want to think about is, again, what are the tangibles? What are the intangibles? And how much pain are they actually in? Because if it's not that big of a deal to them, most likely they're not going to be willing to pay that much for it. The next thing you want to think about is your time. Now, in a one-on-one environment, you're actually going to be thinking about your time itself. If you're doing one-on-ones and you're charging, meaning once a week for 12 weeks, that's 12 hours of your time. So you want to also be able to factor that in, because your time is very valuable. That's one of the reasons why we become entrepreneurs, is to have more freedom. And if your schedule is full of one-on-one appointments, sure, you're going to be making good money, but you're not going to have one of the things that a lot of us want, which is freedom. So think about that when you're actually designing your program. When you're doing one-on-one, you're going to be able to charge higher prices because it's your time one-on-one, and the more people you have, the less free time on your calendar. So say you want to do only 10 hours a week of this, realistically, you could only have 10 clients. And if you want to say make 100K, you would have to charge $10,000 per person if you wanted to make $100,000 a month. So, another thing that sort of factors into it is like, how much do you want to make off of this and how much time you have factors into it. Again, so if you can only take 10 people, like I said, and you want to make 30 grand, then you'd only have to charge $3,000 per person. So that's one of the things you want to think about when you're designing your program is the amount of time, where in a group setting, because you could maybe only be doing 2 sessions a week, maybe you're doing 2 group sessions a week, you can now charge a lot lower and still be able to give people the desired end results they want, because it's not taking as much time of yours. So you can charge lower for group, higher for one-on-one, and think about your actual time involvement in each program. How much are you doing reviews? How much are you doing stuff behind the scenes that people don't know about? You want to think about all this when thinking about your overall pricing structure. You also want to think about the duration of the program. How long is it? A 30-day program, you might only charge $1,500 or $3,000, where a 90-day program, you might charge $5K or even $10K or 6 months. These are things you want to think about, is how long is the program? Because again, your time factors into that, or how much time you're putting into it. So again, results you want to think about, how much outcome, how much time, how duration it is, how long the duration is. And now we're going to actually get into the actual pricing, or how much you should charge. Now, first of all, don't ever give free. Free is the worst thing. Even when you're first starting out, charge less, charge half, whatever, but charge something. Because when people don't put any money, any skin in the game, they put no value on it. And that's the problem with free. Is free, people are like, oh, I can always get again later. It doesn't matter, whatever. You might have that one person that every once in a while is that diamond in the rough that happens to go through, but that is not the norm. Trust me. When I first started out with this, I thought that I would give people a $97 a month coaching program. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to help thousands of people. I'm going to make $100,000 a month. It's going to be amazing. The problem is when people only put $97 in it, they only put $97 worth of effort into it because they don't have a lot of skin in the game. If it's $97 to them, whatever, I might get around to it whenever. Where if it was $5,000, the average person is going to be a lot more predisposed to be getting off their butt and doing the work, because they don't want to waste $5,000 compared to $50 or even $500. So free is not an option here. Anyone watching this, if I find out you did free, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to punch you right in the throat. So no free, no way, no how. Discount it. That's fine. And even maybe it's for the first couple of people to get some experience underneath your belt. Maybe the first 3 people are half price, and then you're going to increase it 500 or 1,000. The cool thing about doing your pricing structure that way is it increases urgency and scarcity. So if you're telling people, hey, look, the first 3 people are going to be 1,500, let's say. We're not getting we're getting into structure just a second here. Let's say we're charging 1,500. Guess what? After that, the next 3, $2,000 or $2,500. That's $1,000 increase. That's going to show the people, if they're interested, they're going to want to get in those first 3 because they don't want to have to pay $1,000 more. So you can actually titrate or build up, starting lower because you're not as experienced and you're feeling a little bit, wait a minute, trust me, I have a lot of you that I've coached, and it's very common when people are coming from regular 9 to 5 and you're telling them to charge $5,000 for 90 days worth of coaching. People are like, whoa, it's in, you have imposter syndrome and all that stuff keeps in. So charge what you feel comfortable, but not free. So again, maybe it's 500 at first. Please don't charge 500. Start at like 1,500. You know what I mean? So, but with that being said, let's get into actual pricing structures. Now, for a beginner, from someone that's just starting out, I would recommend for one-on-one, $3,000 to $5,000 for roughly a 90-day program. Now, you can figure up or below that, but roughly what I like to charge and what I tell my students when they're first starting out, $3,000 to $5,000 for a 90-day program for someone starting out. Now, when you're super starting out, you don't have testimonials, you don't have nothing, maybe that $3K you cut in half. Maybe it's $1,500. Maybe it's $1,000 for the first 3 and then $1,500, and then you double it up to $3K. Whatever it is, Realize free is not an option, and don't underestimate what you're doing. Think about, again, what we talked about. Think about what your problems you're solving, how much pain these people in, what outcomes you're providing for them. The biggest problem my students have and people when they come and they start working with me is they undercharge what they're worth. And you are so valuable. You have such a skill that is going to change people's lives. And this is the time to be doing it. 2021, 2022, this is the time to be coming online and sharing your skills, your talents that you have with the world and being able to monetize it. Income and impact, baby. Let's make some. So anyway, sorry, get on a little tangent every once in a while. I get so excited about the opportunities for everyone out nowadays to be online, to be able to share your coaching talents. So anyway, for a group, for a newbie, new guy starting out, 1,500 to 3K is roughly the range you want to be in for your group coaching. I would not recommend starting out in group coaching. I like starting one-on-one because when you start one-on-one, it allows you to get the dynamic engagement with each person, to be able to optimize and tailor your program to see what you really need to do, and then go in a group, because once you've proven out your formula, it's much easier to go in a group model because you're not as involved. So I don't really recommend starting out in group, but if you did, 1,500 to 3,000 would be what I would recommend. Now, for an expert, one-on-one, 10,000 plus, you're probably looking at. That's what I charge, 10,000 plus for one-on-one with me. We're doubling my one-on-one right now. If you're watching this, it might have a spot left. We only had 2 at the time of filming. And for group, you're going to want to do around 5K. Again, this is for a 90-day program. Program shorter in duration. It might be less, longer, it might be more. Again, it's going to be up to you to determine how much value you're giving, how much pain you're solving, how much of these tangible and intangible things you're giving them. I would actually invite you to actually write out on a piece of paper, draw a line and put tangible and intangible, and write out as many as you can. Because when you start seeing these and you see everything you're giving them, it's going to allow you to be able to figure out how much you really are charging and see the value you're providing. So the next thing I want to talk about is believing in what you charge. It's very, very important. I have so many times that I've had students that when I first started coaching, I was like, no, we need to charge 5,000. And the problem with that is, even though I believe that they are worth it, they didn't, or you didn't believe that you were worth it. And it doesn't matter how great your program is or how great your sales skills are. If you don't believe that the value that you're charging is what you're worth, or what you're charging is what you're worth, you'll never make a sale. I mean, maybe every once in a while, but the chances that you make a sale drop dramatically. So I would much rather you charge less initially and believe in the prices that you're charging people versus trying to charge more because Funnel Doc says so and not being able to get one sale. Trust me, I've had many people that have come to me and they're working with me and they start out and we'll start out low. And next thing you know, they're coming to me after we've gotten up to $5,000. They're like, I can't believe I'm not charging more. Because, I mean, I've had clients, students that are getting, like, one of them, this lady, she had an email campaign that she helped this person with. They made $200,000 off this one email campaign because of the work they did with this coaching program. How is it not worth $100,000 even to be able to make $200,000? You see what I mean? So again, that's an extreme example, but you want to think about that. And you have to have the belief in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself when you say these numbers, the people on the other side of this are going to know. They're going to know. You're not going to be able to act your way through it. People are going to see in your soul and be able to see what you're really saying, that you don't believe in what you're talking about. Now, when you talk about higher prices, one of the reasons why you sort of have to charge more is because people equate higher prices to value. Like when you come in and I tells you a house is worth $1 million, you automatically assume that house is super high quality. Or if I told you this car is a $100,000 car, you automatically assume this product is high quality. When it comes to coaching, the levels I've talked about for experts, they're in that $10,000 plus one-on-one range, if not even higher. I mean, that's the beginning of the expert range. So you have to think about that. If I came to you and I drove up in a Lamborghini and I was like, guess what? It's only $10,000. You'd be like, what's wrong with it? Well, they think the same thing about your coaching. If you're going to high quality people and you're going to these high level entrepreneurs that make lots of money and you're going, oh, guess what? My coaching's offers $1,000. They're going to be like, What's wrong with it? It must suck. I make $1 million a month, and this is, of course, when you get into higher level people and everything like that, but just realize that people equate higher prices to higher quality. So don't be afraid to charge more, because when you don't charge enough, too often they think you're driving that $10,000 Lambo and they're like, what the hell's wrong with it? So one of the things too, and I talked about this earlier, is that higher prices provide you a higher level of students. This is just the fact of it. I found when people put more skin in the game, when they have more money they paid, they will put more effort in because they want more results. They don't want that money to go in vain. And far too often when people have more money, they have more disposable more means at their disposal. They can afford to go pay for ads. They can afford to go pay for a copy person, a funnel person, whatever they might need beyond their skill set. Because that's the thing, as you grow and expand, you start out as a solopreneur doing it all. But once you hit that 100K and beyond, you need to have a team. And you need people that are going to accentuate your specific talent with their own talents of their own. So got to think about that. So next thing, payment plans. This is a big one. People always ask me, like, what should I charge? Should I have a payment plan? Now, some people like to charge more on payment plans. I like to charge roughly 10, 20% more, if not less. Sometimes people will be like, well, you want to charge more because that incentivizes people to pay you in full, and payment plans tend to fall off. I don't have many payment plans fall off. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't sign people up for my program unless they're a good fit. And my people give such good results that they're happy to give me money. So I don't mind payment plans, because a lot of times when people are first starting out, if you're paying $10,000 and you break it up into 3 months, that's $3,333 a month. That's a decent amount of money, even if you're making $10,000 a month. If you're making six figures, you're making $10,000 a month, and I'm asking you for $3,000. That's a third of your monthly income. That's not including your business, your expenses, tax, everything else. So that can be a decent amount. So I think payment plans are a great option. Charging a little bit more is fine, 10 to 20%. Sometimes I'll even make it the same, to be honest with you. For higher packages, like for my higher ticket coaching, I do tell them that the higher price point is the cost. And if you'd like to save X amount of money, you can do a paid in full and save 20% or whatever the amount is. So like, let's say, for instance, my coaching for year long, let's say it's 50K. I'd go something like, hey, what you can do is it's actually 50,000, but if you'd like to save 5,000, what I can do is you can pay in full and pay only 45. So that way people, when you frame it that way, people don't see the payment plan as paying more. They see it as what the price is. So a lot of times when you talk about it that way, especially if you're going to charge more for your payment plan. So say you're charging $6,500, you might want to do it like this. It's like, hey, if $6,500 with payments, but if you want to save $1,500, you can do it paid in full, and it's only $5,000. That's our way for, just saying thank you for paying it all at one time, or something like that. Or something else that I've had other coaches done that I thought is very interesting. I would try it myself, but they would make the paid in full group, they'd have special training and special access. So that might be something you want to also try, is to make it even a special group, so that yes, the prices are the same, but if you paid in full, you get extra perks and bonuses. So that might be something you want to think about. Now, you've heard of fast action discounts. Do I use them? Yes, I do. One of my favorite things to tell people is this, and feel free to use this however you see fit. And there's a lot of truth to this. Realize I believe in ethical selling. I want people to buy my product because I believe in it. I know it can change their life, but I'm not going to do anything unethical or immoral to get them to buy it. So one of the things I will tell people is I'll be, look, you told me you want to go and think about it, and here's the fact. Studies show that 95% of people that go off and think about it don't come back, and if they do buy, they buy from somewhere else. I know that my program is going to get you the results that we've talked about, and I know I can change your life. So rather than you leaving and falling in that 95% and not coming back or going somewhere else, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you this discount, a one-time, I don't say fast action because that sounds cheesy when you're talking to someone, but I'm going to give you this one-time discount that's only available if you act right now. If you leave and you call me back in 10 minutes, this will not be available. And I'll usually give them like 10% off. So if it's, or even maybe 20% off, depending on what you feel comfortable with. But you want to make it sexy enough that they want to take action on it. Like, oh, if I'm selling something for $5,000 and I offer $100 off, no one cares. You literally, at least it needs to be like $1,000. You know what I mean? So think about that. Fast action discounts. Use what I'm saying. Get them involved. Get them on it now, and don't let them leave, especially if you believe in your product, which I know you do. Another thing, deposits. So some people really need to think about it. They need to move money around. Maybe you didn't do a good job pre-framing it before you got on the call, and they got on there and they really have to ask their wife or significant other. That happens. One of the things I like to do is to get a deposit. Say you're charging $5,000. I'll ask for at least 10 or 20%, like $1,000. Usually it needs to be at least $1,000, because anything less than that, if they decide to just like bounce on you, even though you're like, cool, I got $600, it's not enough pain that they'll put it down and sometimes won't care about it. So it needs to be at least $1,000, but I recommend about 10 to 20% again. So if it's like a $5,000 product, hey, guess what? No problem, Mr. or Mrs. whatever. I totally understand that you want to think about it, and I respect that. I wouldn't expect you to make any decisions, but let me tell you this. Because we talked about the discount of you wanting to sign up right now, and I wanted to give you that $1,000 off, I tell you what, if you go right now, I'm going to give you a deposit. Let's put a deposit down because I know you're serious. Let's put a deposit down of $1,000. Just so I can hold that $1,000 discount that I'm going to give you. That way it increases urgency or scarcity. I sort of messed that up. I apologize. But that's what you want to think about is like, you want to get the last ditch. You're like, oh, you gave the fast action discount, even though I don't like calling that. That's the easy way to say it. So we dropped 1,000 off the 5,000 down to 4,000. They're still, I need to think about it. One of your last ditch efforts to try and secure something is the deposit. Say, hey, you know what? I'd love to do this, but to secure and lock in that fast action, because like I said, if you leave and we don't lock this down, you're going to lose it. Let's try and get a deposit. Or maybe you don't get the fast action and they're serious about it, but they still need to think about it. Let's get some deposit. It's $5,000, get $1,000 down. If it's $10,000, get $2,000 down. That way there's some skin in the game, and you can tell if they're serious. If they're like, no, I don't want to deposit down, they're not serious, and there's no way they're going to sign up. Somewhere in the sales process, and that's in a whole nother video, I'll cover that later, you messed up along the way. So with that being said, hopefully you found value in this video. Hopefully it's helped you out on knowing how and giving you structure of how you can price your coaching offer. If you have found value in this, please like and subscribe to this video and this channel. Comment below. Let me know that you liked the video. Tell me what type of videos you'd like to see in the future. Tell your friends about this channel. I'm going to be doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're just going to get better and better. With that, we learned, first of all, when charging, you want to think about what your end outcome is, how much pain they're in, how much time you're putting into it, the duration of the program. Is it group coaching? Is it one-on-one? What's your skill level? Are you beginner or an expert? These are the major factors that you want to think about when pricing out your coaching offer. So hopefully this brought you value. And if you'd like to know more about how you can create, launch, and scale your coaching offer to 6 and 7 figures, reach out to me, either leave a comment below. I'd love to get you involved in my coaching program, Funnel Accelerator Coaching, where I teach you how to take your passion, your skill, your hobby that you know that people are willing to pay you money for, and turn it into an online coaching program where you can make 3, 5, and even 10K. And I've had many people that have made 10K in their first 30 days, and many people that have made 100K in roughly their first 80 to 140 days. So if this interests you, comment below, message me on Facebook. I'd love to talk to you, or you can go to funneldoc.com/FAC and find out more about it there. Thanks so much for watching this video. I can't wait to see you in the next one. And with that, Funnel Doc out.